Super Idol de Charo, donate me to 10 by each hung for the
Yo. Yeah, I'm about to be out the country in like 12 hours. So I'm recording a shit ton of videos and I'm gonna like be scheduling that shit. Anyways, I don't know when y'all gonna get this one. I don't know when. Probably tonight. Yeah, probably tonight. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna watch this shit. I saw the thumbnail and I was just like, I gotta watch this because this is very, very real. This is actually true. I did enjoy, I just need something to watch, right? You know, when a TV on, it just be playing and, it's not like, back then, not even like back in like 2016, 17. I mean, we had like streaming apps and shit, but like, some of us, we not rich like that. So we don't, yeah. So, and I just wasn't really into streaming apps and shit like that. But so we ain't really have no choice, when it came to watching shit. I'm 23, by the way, so just letting that out there. So I experienced like, was it Gen Alpha, whatever the fuck we have now. I'm not really looking at that shit though. But Gen Z, millennials, I've looked at shit from the 80s, so I like a lot of reruns and stuff. So I know my shit, bro. Especially because I have siblings that are like 8 years older than me. So I know, like, I be watching everything. But this specific time period is actually brain rot. It's like the sprouting of brain rot. Let's just look at this shit, bro. And I feel like, and he's gonna explain in his video. Ooh, I want to make my own video about this too, though. But like, they try to be hip, right? They try to be like, oh, we so quirky and shit like that. When shows like, Gravity Falls did it right, Adventure Time did it right, Flapjack did it right. They were like trying to copy all those shows. Whatever was on Disney XD, I think there's some good ones. But like, they tried to be like cringe, like, well, they were cringy, but like quirky and shit. It didn't work out. And this is what we get.
Nickelodeon has been loved by all ages for decades. Since releasing the first 3 Nicktoons in the early 90s, Nickelodeon has become known as a predominantly cartoon channel. The 90s are revered as the golden age of cartoons.
It is.
And the 2000s being a noteworthy successor that definitely started to falter as
I was thinking in my head, because the thumbnail, it doesn't have Fanboy and ChumChum. I was just like, really, really brain rot shit was Fanboy and ChumChum. I watched that shit though, when the TV on, so I watch it. I'm just like, okay, whatever, shit. But I kind of know that even back then, I'm just like, this is kind of shitty, right? It's kind of shitty. I did like Johnny Testo, surprisingly. Yeah. The little slap things. I didn't really notice them at all, until like people started pointing them out. I'm just like, oh, holy shit. God damn.
time went on.
I'm gonna let the video play. Fuck. Like, I can talk. I need to make my own video about this, not gonna lie.
This era, being the 2010s, is arguably the worst era. And I am here to tell you why. But first, a little bit of backstory.
No, you gotta be like late 2010s. Well, not really. No, it's a mixture. It's a mixture. I think Cartoon Network was better, in a sense, out of all 3 networks for early 2010s.
In the early 90s, they introduced Doug, Rugrats, and the Ren and Stimpy Show. These 3 would become the first Nicktoons. They proved to be very popular, thus Nickelodeon choosing a cartoon-oriented path. Rocko's Modern Life, Cat Dog, Angry Beavers, Our Real Monsters, Hey Arnold, and the Wild Thornberrys were soon to follow.
I watched all of these. I literally watched all of these.
All of these cartoons were very
That's what I'm saying. The reruns went crazy, bro.
Successful and still remain icons today. They were original and wacky, and had humor that hadn't been seen in cartoons before. These cartoons made up the 90s, and is now known as the Golden Era. The next era was the Spongebob era.
Yeah, okay, sure.
SpongeBob was and still is their cash cow. So, a lot
They
of their
milking
focus
that
went to
nigga
SpongeBob.
crazy. No Diddy.
The entirety of the 2000s was plastered with the yellow square. Even with SpongeBob's success, there were a handful of cartoons that came out around this time that were still very good. The Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, Danny Phantom, Invader Zim.
This is my era, essentially. Yeah. I mean, shit that just wasn't reruns. Like, this is the shit I watched.
My Life as a Teenager.
I watched other shit, too. Like, again, like, I watched pretty much a lot of this shit. But this is my
Avatar,
era. Like,
and
this is
Chalk
me
Zone.
right
the
here.
The first half of the 2000s was basically a sequel to the 90s.
Essentially,
original
yeah.
cartoons, unique concepts and adventures, and very enjoyable to watch.
Yep.
The second half of the 2000s is where the decline began.
This fucking show is like, it wasn't like a fever dream. Like, I low-key remembered it, but I just watched it at night. It came on at like nighttime, I think, or some shit, you know, or like early in the morning, like super like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. shit. Shit kind of scared me, but I don't really like remember the episodes. I just remember it happening.
Began, but had not fully hit rock bottom. The shows they were making didn't necessarily drop in quality, but a lack in promotion and opportunity led them to fail. These shows were for the most part overshadowed by their more successful cousins like
because this
SpongeBob
shit
and Fairly OddParent.
I just remember watching this shit at night. You know that shit went straight to the fucking graveyard. If you're watching this like fucking you know, it just came out recently and then like boom, you're just watching it in the morning, nighttime, you know, type shit. You know, like what the fuck happened? Well, it's fucking shit. Usually that's more like shows that are like, you know, like old school shows. You know, you got Boomerang and shit, you know, come on at night, whatever the fuck. This shit happened. Like, goddamn.
These shows were Attacking the Power of Juju, El Tigre, The Mighty Bee, Cat Scratch, The X's, and Back at the Barnyard. Nickelodeon.
Okay, but Barnyard was like fire. Out of that bunch, that was a good show. I fucking love Barnyard. I wouldn't say it did get overshadowed. He said overshadowed. That's fair. That's fair.
Nickelodeon didn't really seem to give these shows a chance, and really only
they gave Barnyard a chance, at least more of a chance than the other ones. Barnyard had a whole ass fucking movie, bro. You know.
They promoted the big shows that they knew would perform well. In the last year of the 2000s, a show would be released that I think truly begins the descent
Who's that
into the
Pokemon
worst era. Fanboy and ChumChum. I know this dead horse has been beaten so much it's just pulp now. It's trendy to hate on this show, and that's not what I'm here to do. I'm simply bringing up the point that this show relied heavily on poop humor. I'm not criticizing it, but it does set in motion a domino effect of terrible humor. Yes. I am now going to give an overview of all the Nicktoons during this decade. 17 different Nicktoons premiered in this decade, compared to 11 in the 90s and 17 in the 2000s. For the sake of the argument, I'm going to only go over actual Nicktoons, not every single animated show that aired this decade. Aww. So, for shows like Rabbids Invasion, that most certainly helps my argument, will not be talked about.
Yeah,
this
is
not categorized as a Nicktoon.
Is that like, I remember, I think there's like a whole show for it now, but I remember like early on, it was just like small, was it like 10-minute episodes or so? Oh, that's how most of them are, most shows are, but like, I don't think it was a full-on like show at first, you know? I think now it is a show, but I don't watch kids shows anymore, you know, right? I mean, shit like Gravity Falls, you know, shows like that, like Star Wars and Forces of Evil. Yeah, I still watch shit like that, sure, but like, you know, just the regular fucking shows, nah.
The new Nicktoon of the decade was Planet Sheen.
Oh, God. You know, I watched that shit after church school. I watched it. That's the thing I'm going to be saying is about a lot of the shows. Like, I watched the shows. I guess I enjoyed them, but like, that's all I had at the time. You know, that was what was on the TV, you know?
Unnecessary spin-off to Jimmy Neutron. This spin-off was not well liked. Making side characters the main characters is usually a poor decision unless you're Saul Goodman. Sheen became overly annoying, the plots were too bizarre, in a bad way, and visually, the show wasn't the best thing Nick had to offer. Going back to the humor, it was definitely different. It wasn't like Jimmy Neutron. It was reminiscent of Fanboy and ChumChum. The ratings gave validity to these claims, and Nickelodeon canceled the show after one season. The next Nicktoon was Tough Puppy.
Oh, I remember Tough Puppy. Was Tough Puppy really that bad? Let me see the rating.
Being that it was created by Butch Hartman, the same guy that did Fairly OddParents and Danny Phantom, it couldn't have been all bad, right? Well, it wasn't, but you could definitely tell the shows were losing soul. I don't know how else to describe it than that. I get that I'm here to articulate my point with words, but this show feels like you took Fairly OddParents, drained the soul from it, and slapped on a spy theme. The next two shows are Winx Club and The Legend of Korra. They do not fit into the category of terrible. They are the very few diamonds in the rough of this decade. Robot and Monster is the next show, and it just brings more of this.
Wait, what did he say about what my Winx Club? Hold up.
Slapped on a spy theme. The next two shows are Winx Club and The Legend of Korra. They do not fit into the category of terrible. They are the very few diamonds.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, like, these are the only like You know, we got my older siblings watching this shit. You niggas are like fucking already adults, and yeah. So it's one of those type of shows. You know, Gravity Falls, Adventure Time type of shows, like actually good shows. That can sometimes have adult themes. Not really Winx. Well, I don't know about Winx Club. I don't really remember, but Winx Club, I like that shit. I like Winx Club, and I liked Legend of Korra for sure. Obviously, you know.
In the rough of this decade, Robot and Monster is the next show, and it just brings more.
I didn't really watch that.
The show feels very empty, content-wise and visually. The humor this time isn't so much farting, but beating each other up and name-calling. There's nothing wrong with that humor, as it's probably the most common type of humor. But to have every joke based on it gets boring very fast. The 2012 TMNT is an all-around fine show.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad show. I actually somewhat enjoyed it.
It gets the job done. I don't have any strong opinions on it.
Yeah,
Sanjay
same.
and Craig.
Same. I mean, I'm not really like it's kind of like a superhero type thing, like Mutant Turtles and shit. Sanjay and Craig. Oh my god.
Are guilty of being one of the worst on the network.
Oh god, yeah. This one, Fanboy and ChumChum, they hate this shit, bro. They hate it, bro. I watched it. That's all I say. That's my opinion on it. I watched it.
I could make the argument that it is worse than Fanboy and ChumChum.
Ooh, really?
It's probably not, but it's very close. It relies
No, I actually like Fanboy and ChumChum better than this shit, to be fair.
Only on fart humor. It's like you took the worst quality out of all the popular shows at the time and put it into one to make this show. It is just another show where a human and a non-human best friend duo go on really wacky adventures. Another thing this show has in common with all of the others that come after it is its hyperactivity. Fanboy and ChumChum had it along with Tough Puppy. But it is right in your face with this show. Surely, this show is as bad as it gets.
Yeah, there we go. I don't... This whole... Oh my gosh, it feels illegal to look at this fucking picture. This whole butts thing, you know, and like poop humor. I know what he's saying. Like, that's pretty much... They were trying to be hip. They're trying to be like cool. They're trying to be like, oh, it's so stupid, it's funny type shit, you know, like quirky, like, you know, type shit. No, absolutely not. But that's what they got. That's what they posted.
Nickelodeon really said, let's take Sanjay and Craig and make it 100 times worse.
I watched a couple episodes. I ain't really watch it like that.
Show is complete brainrot humor. If you can even call it humor. There are no real stories for episodes, just recycled junk you have seen before. Annoying characters. So much stuff to do with butts. It is absolutely unreal how this was created, and then continued to be created. Look on the bright side. Breadwinners is the worst this decade gets. Harvey Beaks was a breath of fresh air. And then
I heard that was a good show. I didn't watch it really like that.
Pig, Goat, Banana, and Cricket released, and you were right back into the mud.
I have no idea what the fuck this is. No, I probably saw it before. I never watched it, though.
More hyperactive, over-exaggerated animation slop. The Loud House is next.
Loud House, a lot of people like the Loud House. He even got, like, live action shit and, like, movie shit, so I'm actually very curious what he thinks about it. I never really watched it like that. I think I only watched, like, 2 episodes. I don't even think I watched them fully, but you know, yeah.
And as it is still running to this day, it has proven to be a much better show than the others.
Okay,
Even
yeah.
though I would argue the fart jokes and hyperactivity is definitely still present. Bunsen is a Beast, the 4th show by Butch Hartman, proved that it was
Butch Hartman?
More of what this decade has churned out. Yet again, a buddy duo where one is non-human, and they go on way too wacky of adventures. Welcome to Wayne. It seems...
Oh, God. I don't even know what that Butch Hartman show was. So this is, like, the area where I don't know these shows, pretty much. I mean, I've seen them, you know, around, but I just haven't watched one episode of it, right?
Seems better than most. I can't give any personal anecdote, as I've never seen this one.
Same.
Online, the most common criticism is that it is a Gravity Falls ripoff. 2 days after
Wait.
seems better than human, and they go on way too wacky adventures. Welcome to Wayne.
Okay, no. But they said Gravity Falls ripoff. Okay, I'm not even gonna watch.
It seems better than most. I can't.
Owl House is like some of the, like, you know, like the good shows with like some type of lore. but it's still like, you know, you can watch any fucking episode, right? It's like that, you know. Gravity Falls, Adventure Time, Flapjack. There's some other shows on Cartoon Network that I haven't watched yet. Garden Wall, and then Infinity Train. Those two I haven't watched, but those are like, I heard they're really good. They got canceled though. So, yeah. Infinity Train, I saw the like before it was even on Cartoon Network, like I think like a decade ago. I saw the what's it called? It was like the first episode, it was like a demo, and it was on like YouTube or something. Whatever the fuck. And it was just like, you know, it was like a little snippet of the show. I was like, oh yeah, this looks like an interesting show. I'd watch it, you know? And it's on Cartoon Network. I was like, oh shit, they finally picked it up. Nice. And it get canceled. So yeah, there's that. I'm gonna watch it though. I'm not sure if they renewed for a third season or second. No, third season. But I mean, yeah.
Personal anecdote, as I've never seen this one. Online, the most common criticism is that it is a Gravity Falls ripoff.
Yeah.
2 days after Welcome to Wayne aired, Fairly Odd Parents was canceled. This now left SpongeBob and, well, nothing else, really.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, because this is around the time where I just stopped watching, you know. I just don't know the shows anymore. Like I probably seen the faces and shit, seen them around. Occasionally watch like an episode or two, but this is around the time where, yeah, my generation, we out, bro. We pretty much, well, not all of us, right? I mean, I stopped watching cable for like since like 2016. Ever since Gravity Falls ended, I took off my cable. Yeah, I did, like purposely, literally. Maybe a little bit after like Star versus the Forces of Evil, like up to season 2, and right when that happened, boom, cable gone. You know, I think that was like a 2017. I'm not gonna say 2016. That's when Gravity Falls ended. Let's say 2017. You know.
At this point, no show besides SpongeBob had been airing for long.
Honestly, can we just say SpongeBob ended in like what year was that? Like 2000? Was it 2005 or some shit? Yeah, when the movie came, because whatever the hell's airing now, I don't know. There might be some good episodes, but I feel like I should just watch like a random new SpongeBob episode nowadays. But yeah, I have no clue. Like, I don't even know if I want to, bro.
Longer than a year or so, and their cash cow SpongeBob was getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me talk about that in a second. Let's finish off this decade.
Yeah.
There are 4 Nicktoons left of the decade. Only one of them still falls into the hyperactive poop humor category. The other 3 are reboots or spin-offs. This is the exact trend repeating itself. Let me explain. At the end of the 2000s, Fanboy and ChumChum introduced the poop humor, and it continued all throughout the decade. Now these 3 shows, The Adventures of Kid Danger, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the Casa Grandes are all spin-offs and reboots. Now look at the 2020s so far. Almost 70% of the shows in the decade thus far are spin-offs, reboots, and light.
Oh, there's another SpongeBob. I heard about the Patrick Star show, but oh shit, I didn't even know. Coral? It's so stupid. Oh my gosh. I mean, sure, these are pretty much like, it's not like they're doing a live action, right? Sure, why not? Whatever. It could probably work with Patrick. I don't know what the ratings are, but this shit, I mean, it's just like Camp Lazlo, you know? I feel like that's how it's gonna be. But anyways, I mean, it's somewhat new, but not really. This is just completely unnecessary. This is pretty much, yeah, unnecessary. But I mean, like, I respect the people on the show. There's like some mutuals that I know that are on the show, you know. But anyways, but it's just like, do we need it? No, we don't need it. We absolutely do not need these. I'd prefer to have new IPs, to be honest. But I mean, I don't know how this show is turning out. I actually haven't really watched any of it. And I haven't watched any of these, but I know for sure this is unnecessary. Rugrats.
Licensed shows.
They're trying to make a live action one too. Like, what the fuck, bro? They're trying to make it like, it's not live action. It's gonna be CGI babies, bro. What the fuck?
It seems as if at the end of the decade,
Like the Lion King. They say live action. Where the fuck? Where is the lions, bro? That shit's CGI. I want to see an actual fucking lion. No, I don't. It's probably better to CGI. But I mean, it's just no point of having it if we already have the original media. What's the point? And original media, I mean, it's not actually even going to be like that, you know? Yeah.
Shows that are indicative of what is to come in the following
It's all animated.
decade.
Oh my god. But man, I really should make a video like this, man. I probably will later on.
Okay, now the decline of SpongeBob. It's been talked about endlessly. They say it got bad after the first movie, whatever. I'm not here to dispute anything.
I mean, there were some good episodes after it. I mean, maybe because it was like during my time of watching, you know. Yeah. There is some good episodes after that, but I mean, like, when it kept going on and on and on, like, there clearly should have been a cutoff, right? You know, maybe, I don't know, between, like, 2012 and 2016, maybe there should have been, like, a cutoff, at least then, right? But now it's just, like, oh, fuck, bro.
I'm here to say, at this point, SpongeBob was arguably just bad. Look up the worst episodes of SpongeBob. No, I'll do it for you. The consensus is that a pal for Gary is the worst. SpongeBob gets a new pet, and it tries to eat Gary. They literally rewrite SpongeBob to be dumber than usual to make the story work. Another terrible episode is One Course Meal, the episode where Mr. Krabs tortures and abuses Plankton, which is pretty out of character for Mr. Krabs. What's my point with this? These episodes came out in 2010. Most of the worst episodes came out in this decade. So not only were their new shows bad, but their legacy shows were too. Another point is the oversaturation of live-action shows. 29 live-action shows premiered in this.
Yo, this show is so bad with the CG. Like, I get how they're, like pumping out. I don't know how many episodes they're doing now, but shows like this, they be doing a lot of episodes in a year. You know, a lot of TV shows, like streaming apps and shit, you know, now they just be doing, like, 8 episodes, like, every 2-3 years or some bullshit. But, you know, like, shit like this that's, like, specifically made for TV, like, cable airing. Yeah, they pump out, like, a lot per year, so, but still, it's like, oh my gosh, like, when I looked at, I was like, it bad, bro, it bad.
Decade. But that's not all. There were other shows that didn't premiere in the 2010s, but were still airing new episodes, making the total 33.
iCarly, True Jackson, Big Time Rush, I mean, these are Dan Schneider shows. They were good, fortunately and or unfortunately. Fred, oh Lord, Fred. How to Rock was actually underrated as hell. Sammy Cat, yeah. What are these? This is like the live action shows. What are we talking about here?
That's a lot of shows. Some of them aren't that bad.
These are the Dan Schneider shows.
I mean, they're sitcoms with children lead actors. They can't be that good either. But some of them are especially heinous. Fred the Show. I can't fairly talk ill of all these shows because I have close to no knowledge about them.
Yeah, I would say,
The Show? I can't fairly...
Bella and the Bulldogs, I remember that, kinda, not really, but I didn't watch it at all. Nikki, Ricky, Dawn, whatever the fuck. I watched a couple episodes of that. I'm not sure. I don't really have an opinion on it. I didn't watch too much of it.
I really talk ill of all these shows because I have close to no knowledge about them. I only watched cartoons growing up.
Yeah, Every Which Way, I remember that. I didn't really watch it, though, at all. But I remember.
But all you need to do is...
I watched Sam and Cat a little bit.
Look at the numbers. 33 shows running in a span of 10...
Max and Shred, I don't remember. What the fuck is that? Make It Pop? What the fuck is that?
10 years. It has to get watered down. It has to. I know the animation studio is probably completely separate from the live-action studio, with completely different budgets and everything, but I really wish more effort would have been spent on the cartoon side rather than live-action. You can clearly tell where Nickelodeon's focus went into this decade, and I believe this is a small contributing factor as to why the cartoons were so bad.
Poop humor? That's because they be pumping out, like, 60 episodes a goddamn year, that's why. Well, no, they be like 10 minutes each, so, you know, probably less than that. So,
Why did they cling to this type of humor? What made them think it was successful and funny? I can't tell you that. The only reason I can hypothesize,
Somebody probably got a poop fetish, just like some Dan Schneider shit.
and it's a stretch, a long stretch, is for shock value. YouTube was becoming very successful and popular
YouTube poop, yeah.
in the early 2010s, and by the mid-2010s was huge. The network saw this huge shift in viewership, where the kids, instead of watching cartoons, were watching their favorite YouTubers play video games, or vlogging, or what have you. I'm guessing maybe this was their attempt to catch people's eyes and be like, look at us. We have this crazy, wacky, over-exaggerated junk. Look, I know that's not a very good reason, but I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel. I can't think of any other reason why any executive in their right mind would approve the poop humor. Not much has changed into the 2020s. The poop humor shows are definitely decreasing in quantity. However, they are just being replaced with reboots, spin-offs, and other licensed IPs. We're definitely in a reboot era right now. Everyone is doing it, and there aren't tons of unique new movies or shows. It only makes sense that Nickelodeon follows suit. Make sure you check out my other videos. I have quite a few about Nickelodeon and other cartoons. If you could please subscribe. I'm literally so close to 1,000 subscribers, and you hitting that button will help me greatly. Thank you for watching.
What a nice guy. No, yeah, I think everything he said was perfectly, it's literally what I think. I think this video is spot on, you know. Bro, look at all of my fucking watch later videos. Oh my gosh, we got so much shit to go through. I probably ain't never watching all these shits. Oh my gosh. But anyways, yeah, so I agree with everything he said. It's pretty fair. Just everything I've been thinking, you know, I do very specifically remember those shows, like, and them being very, very bad. Even for me, like, being that young, I knew that, you know, these weren't my favorite shows, obviously. Like, you know, I'd fuck Cora, Winx Club, Gravity Falls, pretty cool. I'm going for, like, from that era, right? There's a Cora, Winx Club, Gravity Falls. Well, what else we have? It was like a mixture of, like, all the networks. Adventure Time, regular show. Should I say Gumball? I watched Gumball. Gumball was good, but, like, I'm not really, like, a Gumball super fan, right? I just watched it just cause, you know, but I'd prefer to watch something else, like, I think regular show came on right after, I think, or some shit. But anyways, yeah, so, yeah, I'll include Gumball. Sure, why not? It wasn't that bad. What else? I mean, these are just, like, oh, Flapjack. Flapjack was kind of, like, 2007, 8, though? Kind of ish, you know? Kind of push it. I'll include it too, though. But I mean, these people from these shows, a lot of them came from Flapjack specifically. There's like a video on it, so I'll say mainly for, I think, the Gravity Falls creator, Adventure Time, regular show, all of them came from the Flapjack show, and Flapjack show is very, very good. You know, a lot of that stuff from that show trickled into the other shows, and, you know, that's why they're good now. So that's why those are, like, really solid shows from that time period. Unlike the other ones, you got Sanjay and Craig. Holy shit, goddamn. Johnny, I don't really know. I enjoyed Johnny Test. I mean, overall, like, you know, I was like 9 years old, whatever the fuck. But in terms of, like, the slap thing, I didn't really pay attention to it. Yeah, the little crack thing that just happens, or whip, whatever happens, like, every 3 seconds or something. I didn't really pay attention to it, so, yeah. But I don't, you know, I liked it. But in terms of, like, the episodes and shit, I don't know if it was, like, I gotta look at, like, the reviews and shit. Like, can we ignore, like, the whiplash and shit and just tell me, like, if it was good or not? Like, because I don't really, like, I enjoyed it, but I just want to know from, like, a critic or something, you know, that motherfucker actually, you know, yeah, right? Not from just my nostalgia or whatever. But anyways, yeah, so good video, W video. Materializing how fucking Brainrotted the 2010s was. Yeah, it was. It very was. They were, I agree with them, like, they were trying to get on with the YouTube shit, you know, and just try to appeal to that type of humor. You know, just shock humor and stuff. You know, it don't got to be specifically, like, about poop and butts and shit. But, like, just, like, that type of thing. Just completely unfunny shit. episodes having like really no story at all, but just trying to be as cringy as possible, essentially. But the era, well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that is, yeah. Honestly, yeah, because I think that's when they had the most cartoons coming out too, you know? And just trying to be like them. That's why I'm saying, like, you know, I mentioned Flapjack, Adventure Time, all that good shit. That's what they were trying to be. That's what they were trying to be. There's only a few good spots. Avatar, Winx Club. What else is on Nicktoons? I'm saying for that time period. I'm not saying like, you know, like Danny Phantom or some shit, but like, or like Fairly Odd Parents. I mean, they were still airing, but you know, just shit just came out in the 2010s. So I can't really remember, but like, that's the problem. Like, I don't even remember. Because it was all bad. But anyways, so I enjoyed the video. W video. I agree with pretty much everything said. Uncle Grandpa is by far the most bizarre oh yeah, that was bad. Oh yeah. Uncle Grandpa was, I mean, I watched it just because I didn't like it. I knew even during that time I didn't like it. Uncle Grandpa, you got Clarence was, that's just something that was on. It's something I watched, let's just say that. But yeah, it's just like a whole bunch of, like, you can just tell, like, if you just look at the times where the episodes came out, you can, like, really, really tell with that, whatever the fuck, you know, the genre's just changing and shit, and the humor. But anyways, that's it. Peace. What do you think about the video? What do you think about cartoons and shit in general, about the eras? I think this video is very, very accurate. Like, he literally, if I was to make a video about this, this is literally what I would say. This is pretty much it. This is actually, like, factual type shit. So, W video.
Shot at a black man and took his shoes. Customized my AR like a Black Ops 2. Just scammed a white kid out of some Gorilla Glue. I don't wanna fuck this bitch, she smell like poo-poo.